The revelations come as Tom Artiom Alexandrovich, executive director of Israel's National Cyber Directorate, was arrested in Las Vegas for allegedly soliciting sex from someone he thought was a 15-year-old girl. He posted bail and fled to Israel, where he's now on leave. They put him on leave like he's a cop. Dude, you know, in America, they put you on desk duty. Have you guys heard of the Israeli file that is an advisor directly under Benjamin Netanyahu that was caught in an anti-pedophilia sting alongside like 6 other people? And of course, he was the only one that was able to escape criminal prosecution and then released and then fled to Israel. And then the Israeli state claimed that they had no prior knowledge of his pedophilia, even though it turns out he did call the embassy. Interesting. Why is the media not covering this story, I wonder? How odd, guys. How odd. How odd that the only place that you can find information on this file, who, yes, intended to sexually assault, rape a 15-year-old who was caught by the authorities and then subsequently released, who was able to flee to Israel, a country with a non-extradition treaty, a country that has actually gotten criticized internally by Israeli outlets and even by American outlets in the past for being a pedophile safe haven, was able to receive this person. How did this happen? How? That's crazy. He hung out in Vegas for 2 days after he was released. He was making the rounds of the casinos before the flight to land. Here is the Haaretz article. A senior Israeli cyber official questioned in Las Vegas over alleged sexual exploitation of a minor. Got caught in a sting, even though he's like the head of a cyber defense agency for Israel. That's weird. How did that happen? How did that happen? Las Vegas Review-Journal confirms that the Israeli official Tom Alexandrovich, caught up in a child sex sting, has hired celebrity attorneys Dave Chesnoff and Richard Schoenfeld. Chesnoff was appointed by Trump to the Homeland Security Advisory Committee. Prominent Las Vegas attorney David Chesnoff and Richard A. Schoenfeld are representing Alexandrovich. Any suggestion that anybody in authority did anything special for him is completely inaccurate, Chesnoff told the Review-Journal Tuesday. He was treated just as anybody would be who got arrested. I thought we voted for Trump, all of us, myself included, illegally, to keep files off the streets. What do you mean? What do you mean a raid took place? They caught this man trying to solicit sex from a minor, and then they interviewed him, and then they let him go.
Left.
Oh, that's right. Sigal Khattah, the acting U.S. attorney who enabled the flight of accused Israeli child sex predator and cyber spy Tom Alexandrovich, campaigned for Nevada Attorney General by boasting her Israeli citizenship and pushing crass hatred of Muslims. Her campaign ad was called Israeli Born. Update. Acting U.S. Attorney for Nevada, Sigal Khattah, just deleted her X account, Khattah for Nevada. Fortunately, many of her posts showing her Israel first bias were achieved. There are 2 million in Gaza. Leary was in their homes and their children. Now let's do Gaza. 90% proud Hamas, 10% scared Hamas. Now no two-state solution with terrorists. It's kind of crazy because like dual loyalty is a trope, right? It's an anti-Semitic trope. This person is literally an Israeli citizen, a dual citizen, and is basically saying like tropes, this is me, Israel first. What the hell?
The radical left is burning down our country and attacking Jews in the streets, and Ilhan Omar is fanning the flame. I'm Sigal Chattah, an Israeli-born lawyer running to be America's #1 conservative attorney general.
Yeah, she's a freak, by the way. People were like, do not do this. This is an insane person. And of course, they did it anyway. Great. Shocked, I tell you, though. Shocked. Can I tell you how shocked I am? This is my surprised face. Okay? This is my surprised face. Imagine my surprise when I found out that a high-ranking Israeli cybersecurity, quote-unquote, expert that works directly under Benjamin Netanyahu was caught trying to rape a 15-year-old and then was immediately released and was allowed to go to Israel, a country that a lot of pedophiles flee to because of its non-extradition policies to the United States of America. Here's the State Department, U.S. State Department releasing. The Department of State is aware that Tom Artiom Alexandrovich, an Israeli citizen, was arrested in Las Vegas and given a court date for charges related to soliciting sex electronically from a minor. He did not claim diplomatic immunity and was released by a state judge pending a court date. Any claim that the U.S. government intervened are false. I am a lawyer from Israel and this is my law. I am cybersecurity expert from Israel and my expertise is of minor for sexual intercourse. What happened? How'd he get out? I didn't know they just let pedophiles roam free. This ain't a kick pedo hunting stream. This is the government that did a raid on a minor sex trafficking and sex station ring. Yeah, he's an engineer, a pedophile engineer. Israeli official posted standard bail, never saw judge before release, DA confirms. Now they're saying that he actually never saw a judge before the release. So why is the State Department saying that he was released by a state judge? The story gets weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. Las Vegas, the Israeli official arrested in a Las Vegas sex sting operation never appeared before a judge and posted bail before leaving the country. The district attorney reaffirmed Tuesday. Tom Artiom Alexandrovich, 38, faces charge of luring a child with a computer for sex acts, according to police. The charge carries a prison sentence for 1 to 10 years. Alexandrovich was in Las Vegas for the Black Hat USA 2025 Cybersecurity Conference, police said. A post on an Israeli government website indicates Alexandrovich works as the head of the Technological Defense Division at the Israeli National Cyber Directorate. On Wednesday, August 6, Alexandrovich chatted online with a decoy, posing as a 15-year-old girl about meeting for sexual contact. The 8 News Now investigators first reported on Monday. Citing court documents, police then arrested Alexandrovich as he prepared to meet with the decoy. Criminal cases in Nevada begin in Justice Court, which townships administer. The courts, including Henderson Justice Court, offer a standard bail schedule where defendants can pay to bail out of jail for most charges, including felonies. While the FBI and federal officials were involved in Alexandrovich's offense, the Clark County District Attorney's Office is prosecuting the case. Most sex crimes cases in southern Nevada are handled by task forces comprised of federal, state, and local partners. Alexandrovich posted $10,000 bail shortly after his arrest, court records showed. The process allows defendants to pay the fee and waive their right to a probable cause hearing, which the Justice Court oversees. There was no court involvement. Oh, I was there. They arrested him during the ending of DEF CON? Wait, really? There was no prosecution involvement. This is the normal practice. It is very standard in this community and many communities across the country. To what? Let roam free? To let them escape legal scrutiny by fleeing the country to go to a nation state that is famous for doing this? Like exactly this, okay? Exactly this. This is something that happens in Israel so much that Israeli advocacy groups have complained about it, where they're like, dude, anytime there is a rapist, they just fly to Israel to evade scrutiny, and then they continue doing rape and pedophilia here. Straight up. A 2020 Nevada Supreme Court decision changed the bail system, making the payment necessary to reasonably ensure the defendant's appearance. He was booked into jail. He posted the $10,000 bail very quickly and was released before his case even needed to go before a judge. And it's not only this individual defendant. There were 3 or 4 others like him, posted the bail right away, so there was no court appearance. Alexandrovich did not appear before a judge and then post a bond before his state-entitled probable cause hearing and before prosecutors filed a criminal complaint against him, the 8 News Now investigators reported Monday. Thus, no judge could put any added restrictions on his release. While the judge later reviewed the bail, there was no physical hearing and the judge had no mechanism to add further restrictions. In addition to Alexandrovich, 7 other defendants face similar charges connected to this sting. Interim U.S. Attorney for Nevada, Sigal Chata, blamed Wolfson and the state court judge for failing to require Alexandrovich to surrender his passport after posting bail. However, neither had anything to do with the process. The Justice Court sets the standard bail schedule and the process to bail out. At that point, post-arrest does not involve the district attorney's office nor any judge. Interesting. For $10,000, you too can also escape Legal scrutiny. Incredible. Yeah, she's anyway, trying to fucking cast the blame on liberals somehow. A liberal district attorney and state court judge in Nevada failed to require an alleged child molester to surrender his passport, which allowed him to flee our country. The Attorney General Pam Bondi just called me outraged, and she also called the FBI Director Cash. The individual who fled our country should have had his passport seized by the state authorities. He must be returned immediately to face justice. What country was he from? Wow, that's crazy. What was his job? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Yep, that's crazy. I can't believe they this one up. Hot dog suit meme. Yeah. We're all trying to find out the guy who let this happen, dude. We're trying so hard. Breaking Points reported he was here for a conference for his job. I know, he's a cybersecurity quote-unquote expert who clearly is not very good at being cyber or secure. And not only that, but again, it wasn't just the conference he was here for, seemingly. He was here for some other shit. It's crazy that your job is to do like OPSEC for the Israeli state, and you literally don't have any OPSEC for yourself. That you were so horny as a pedophilic rapist that you got duped by some FBI agent posing as a 15-year-old online, and you got in the short time frame that you had on U.S. soil. That is crazy. Max Blumenthal. Alexandrovich told the police he was going to flee the country, so he was allowed to flee the country. Here's Ali Abunima from Electronic Intifada. After Israeli official Tom Alexandrovich was arrested in federal sting, he immediately started talking about fleeing to Israel. Will we ever find out who let him leave and why? After he was placed under arrest, police said he was shocked and started asking for a way to contact someone about his international flight back to Israel. He did not know the numbers for the Israeli government, according to the report. Alexandrovich told his family lives in Israel, the report said. According to a social media post, he's like, wait a minute. I got caught soliciting sex from a 15-year-old. Hold on, authorities. I would like you to know I am Israeli. I would like to fly back to Israel immediately. Please give me the number for the Israeli embassy. I am going to escape the law. And the cops were like, oh, I guess we got to do it. Cops hate this one simple trick. According to a social media post from the U.S. State Department's Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs, the U.S. government did not intervene in his arrest. Any claims of the U.S. government intervened are false, the State Department said in the post. A November 2024 article on the official website of the Israeli government referenced a person with the same name as the head of the Technological Defense Division of the Israel National Cyber Directorate. Israeli official was interviewed by the FBI and Department of Homeland Security agents after his arrest. They knew exactly who he was, and yet the Trump administration just let him go. Alexandrovich stated it was very important to get numbers for his flight. Alexandrovich stated his flight is on Friday to New York, and then he will fly to Israel. Hey guys, just want to let you know, this pedophilia investigation and the court date is really going to fuck up my plans to escape the country and go to the non-extradition country that famously flee to, Israel. Hey, I just want you to know, I'm a flight risk. It's a guarantee. Let me out of this room. I'm flying back. Also, this part is really funny. This guy is a cybersecurity official, and he says his phone doesn't have a password, but uses biometrics. Are you kidding me? I'm not a cybersecurity expert. I'm a boomer. And the first thing I learned was to literally not use thumbprints, because that allows authorities to literally access your phone. The most viable way to ensure that they cannot access your phone without a search warrant is by having a password on your phone as opposed to a thumbprint. Biometrics, unfortunately, as it stands currently, is something that cops and authorities overall can use to access your phone without, having it be illegal. I can't believe Jeffrey Epstein's famous friend, Donald Trump, would allow this to happen. How could this have happened? Guys, I'm going to tell you once again, very shocked. This guy's the head of cybersecurity, bro. That's crazy. They got the worst people in charge over there, huh? That's awesome. Man, I'm starting to think that our government is not trustworthy. It's weird, dude. That's got to be a nepotism hire. Yeah, they probably hired him for the other thing, okay, which is, you know, his proclivities, his interests, his special interests. They hired him for that reason. They were like, this will be our guy. What is this? Jack Paulson and Harrison Berger report on a major leak within Israel's Ministry of Justice that reveals over 2,100 international legal requests, including multiple U.S. extradition cases for child sex abuse suspects that Israel... Oh, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but this is such a common thing. Holy dude. The revelations come as Tom Artiom Alexandrovich, executive director of Israel's National Cyber Directorate, was arrested in Las Vegas for allegedly soliciting sex from someone he thought was a 15-year-old girl. He posted bail and fled to Israel, where he's now on leave. They put him on leave like he's a cop. Dude, you know, in America, they put you on desk duty if you're a cop and you shoot like an unarmed black teenager. In Israel, because it's so common, right? And in Israel, it's like, oh, you got caught from a 15-year-old. Desk duty. You're on desk duty for a little bit, soldier. Stand down. Holy pedito. Jesus Christ, you guys are so stupid. Genuinely, how do Israel supporters defend this? What do you mean? They don't address this shit at all. And even if they were to address it, they would just call you a anti-Semite, like everything else. Oh, you don't love Israel? Anti-Semitism, huh? What are you? You are Hamas. The child was Hamas. It was a terror child. It was a baby. Why you not love Israel? Are you Hamas? No politic here. No politic here. That's crazy, bro. 2,152 international legal requests with the state of Israel was hidden within last year's Anonymous of Justice leaks. Among other things, the leaks showed the delayed or failed attempts of the DOJ to extradite various sex abusers from Israel where they had fled to evade justice. That's wild. Yeah, and before you accuse people of anything, here is numerous investigations that were concluded. I Googled safe haven. CBS News. How Jewish Americans hide from justice in Israel. February 19th, 2020. Exposing pedophilia and legal failures in Israel by humanium.org. I don't know what the humanium.org is, but this is a CBS report. Like, that's also concerning Google search, for the record. Don't do that. I just realized that's a wild thing to Google. BRB, the cops are at my door. Your Honor, hold on. Your Honor, hold on. You don't understand. I can't even flee to Israel now. Haaretz has reported on this as well. And numerous Israeli advocacy organizations have reported on this as well. Yeah. Check my logs. I have 5 links to help illustrate your point. Yeah, here's another one. The child assembly line. Jesus Christ, dude. That's insane. We got the CBS one. This is from the Independent. Well, that page doesn't exist. Oh, this. You got auto-modded. Jewish Community Watch says 32 moved from countries around the world to Israel over the past decade. It's a lot larger than that, the number. Turns out it's 2,154. Haaretz wrote about it. Israel's becoming a refuge for Warren's advocates for child sex abuse victims. Times of Israel wrote about it as well. Many accused Jews in the U.S. flee to Israel. J-Post wrote about it. Israel's trying to legalize pedophilia. Cool, man. IGN has an article on it. Error not found. Israel game developers pedophilia. What the? Why would somewhere in Tel Aviv? This is the 4th time, Alexandrovich. Turn in your turntables and headphones. You're on desk duty until further notice. You will not be playing Psytrance anywhere near the field once more. What is this? This one is 15 years ago. You're a cybersecurity engineer from Israel. You're free to go. My mistake, sir. I didn't mean to be anti-Semitic in conducting this investigation into your criminal acts of child predation. It's really dumb of me to even question this further. I apologize. Anyway, Alexandrovich is the only person caught in this thing to not have a criminal complaint filed against him. These agents informed Alexandrovich immediately they could contact the Israeli embassy. It remains an open question why Alexandrovich is the only person. So what happens here? So the feds, like, the feds catch a bunch of, one of them is an Israeli cybersecurity expert. And then they go, oh, you're an Israeli cybersecurity expert. Like, of course you were doing pedophilia. You're free to leave. Is that what it is? Like, is that what happened? Oops, my bad. Like, what? To catch and release a predator. Yeah. Yeah, that's the real catch and release. Anyway, yes, I saw the report. 654 migrant workers were surveyed in Israel, and 100% of them were sexually assaulted. Out of 654 Thai foreign workers questioned, all of them said they had been exposed to sexual assault. Again, also from Jerusalem Post. 654. Every single one did this. This is why I always say, like, Israeli sources, when talking about, like, the Israeli military's actions, will regularly lie. But Israeli sources, when it comes to, like, internal affairs, will be a much better, much more reliable resource for news and information than Western news media is. The reason why is because this is shit happening in Israel. So their job is to literally cover shit happening in Israel, right? That's the reason why there's this weird dynamic where, like, the New York Times is not going to cover this shit, but then you have, like, all Israeli outlets, including, like, Ynet and stuff, covering stuff like this. Anyway, gross. Also here, speaking of gross, here's Donald Trump saying Netanyahu is a war hero. I guess I am too.
He's fighting. You know, they're trying to put him in jail on top of everything else. How about that? He's nuts. He's a war hero because we work together. He's a war hero. I guess I am too. Yep. He's fighting. You know, they're trying to put him in jail on top of everything else. How about that? He's nuts.
War criminal. He's a war criminal. And you are too. Also, if you want to know what the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is invested in, okay, while they're, you know, letting us escape to Israel, on the one hand, that's what the federal government is working on. On the other hand, this is what they're doing. New policy alert, wee woo, clarifying discretionary factors in certain immigration benefit requests. McCarthyism returns to immigration law as USCIS announces that it will begin screening applicants for immigration benefits for anti-America ideologies or activities. The term has no prior precedent in immigration law, and its definition is entirely up to the Trump admin. So whatever they consider to be, you know, un-American or whatever, they will use to claim you cannot get citizenship or any benefits. Fantastic. Amazing. Awesome country. Very cool. God, I hate this place so much.